I feel like I need to give you a little bit of a trigger warning for this one. We're going to be talking about male loneliness, and yes, I do believe that they are in pain, but no one's naming it like I do here in this video. We're going to be talking about Matthew Hussey's reaction that he gave to this problem, and he never even named it that. He did just such a poor job that I feel like every time I watch this replay that I did over on TikTok, that I'm being gaslit. So I really want to know what you are feeling when you watch this. Again, this is just a little clip of what he shared. I'm going to do another reaction at the end of this, so please stay tuned.
Whenever I hear this toxic stereotyping BS about you coming from certain male communities online, I champion you everywhere I go.
Really? Let's hear this.
You know that. You've watched me on interviews on YouTube and constantly fighting that fight for not allowing you to be stereotyped in unfair ways. Because I've spent 18 years of my life working with you, and I know you deserve better than that. But man, does some of you give the rest of you a bad name and make it hard to defend you against those stereotypes.
The BS stereotypes that just get put on us. And yet he's defending us about this. Anywho, if you don't know who I am, I'm Holly McCormick with Deconstructing Patriarchy. We look at the ideology that got supplanted into the cultural DNA via our stories, our myths, our creation stories, our religious stories, and we see where they create the cultural norm, and then we break it all down, look back at the past with a wider angle lens, and that allows us to be able to rewrite the past, rewrite the present, and thus have a different future. And here is something that is just beyond fucking frustrating to me right now about men. And I'm surprised I have to put Matthew Hussey in this category. Matthew Hussey, I have been following him for over 10 years. I spent the thousands of dollars that it required to go to one of his, in-person conferences, retreats, whatever you want to call it, to see what he was doing about helping women better themselves. I just kind of wanted to see it for my own internal knowledge of what this man was preaching. And I have really enjoyed his forward-thinking ability to be able to break down relationship problems in a way that I don't see a lot of other people doing. So I'm actually going to say I'm super surprised at this. But I really hope that you will help me get this message out for Matthew Hussey to hear, because I'm so disappointed in this. Him and Scott Galloway and some of these men that say that they're being proponents or champion women are fucking missing the point, you all. They miss the root cause of all of this. And if you've been watching my channel, you know what it is. It's the ideology that makes patriarchy so subliminal, so invisible, that even men like Matthew Hussey can't fucking see it when it's right in front of his eyes. And here's another thing, like these men, Scott Galloway, him, and other men like him who are champion women are not. You're not champion women. When you have a butt and then you go right into the stereotype that you're saying you don't support, that you talk out against, and you're ignoring women like me and Celeste Davis and Amy from Breaking Down Patriarchy, who keep saying what the issue is with male loneliness, what the issue is with male psychology, what the issue is with the red pill movement of these men. It's not the men themselves, it's the cultural DNA, the ideology of patriarchy. That is the root cause. And until you get to that, the root cause, y'all, we are going to continue to have dating issues, because women are getting there a lot faster and they're undoing the internal misogyny. But men don't realize, because men like you, Matthew Hussey, aren't preaching to them when you have the airtime to preach to them what the truth is. You're not taking it. And you're not telling them that their root issue is patriarchy. And until they get the ideology of the internal patriarchy out of their mind, out of their psyche, out of their DNA, they are going to not be of value to women that are doing that at a larger scale and who don't want to be partnered with somebody that's still stuck in the old paradigm. And yet you're doing exactly what patriarchy does to women, is you ignore us when we're telling you what the issue is. Because oh my God, women couldn't possibly know what the issue is as to why they don't want to date men, as to why 85% of us, or I don't even remember what the stat is, but Scott Galloway has all these stats. I'll do reaction to his later. But we're not going to settle for 75% of what a man has because it's so bare minimal. We are asking you to raise your standard by learning the root cause of your issue, which is patriarchy harms all of us. And why are no men preaching this? Why are the men that are out there having airtime and visible not preaching this? Please help this get to Matthew Hussey. Let's watch a little bit more.
If you want an authentic relationship based on mutual respect and admiration, date someone who respects and admires you, not someone who gets the message loud and clear that the reason you are into them is because of what they've achieved and what they have. If you achieved a great paycheck in your life, an enviable lifestyle, and a fancy job title, good for you. That's amazing. Wasn't the whole point of that so that you could choose whoever you wanted without relying on anybody?
Who says she's not choosing what she wants? Why are you stereotyping her to say that that's not what she wants? Or why aren't you digging deeper to see maybe she's stuck in patriarchy as well? It just blows my mind that somebody as well established and as well, just a forward thinker as Matthew Hussey is reducing himself to this level of critique. It just makes no sense. Can someone please explain that to me?
If you're in a position to choose a relationship for love and not security, you already won. So take advantage of that position. Realize that you being more successful should make the dating pool bigger, not smaller. You can't go around calling men superficial when you yourself cannot see past the fact that a man doesn't have the exact style you'd like him to have, the height you said you wanted when you were 25, or the kind of job or status that you think would impress your friends when you tell them about.
Oh, I've had to listen to that last part a few times, and I don't get what he's saying. I mean, I do, don't get me wrong, but it just is so frustrating. It's so frustrating because he misses the root cause of all of this. Both men and women are missing the root cause of this. Women are catching up on the individual level a lot faster, and I think on the collective level, because of women like me, Celeste Davis, Amy at Breaking Down Patriarchy, are preaching it. The root cause is the ideology of patriarchy that gets established in the mind as misogyny and as gender roles, and we have to do a lot of work to undo that. And just his coming down, I mean, yes, he talks to men before this, I didn't show that, but he doesn't talk to them about the root cause. He just basically says, if women want this of you, then just realize that's not the type of woman you want. But it's just so typical, right? Like, let's not look at the root cause. Let's just blame women. And in a video that should be directed solely to men, women have to still do the emotional labor work to step up and take responsibility for why men are having such a hard time right now. He doesn't, I'm just so disappointed, y'all. I'm so freaking disappointed that people like him are missing this big of the piece. And yet, I guess that's good for me because it'll help my business grow, because it's not like anybody else is really speaking a lot about this. Not at the extent that I am. Yes, a lot of people are identifying patriarchy, but they haven't done the core work to get to the root cause like I'm doing in season 1. So if you don't know, go over to YouTube. The link is in my bio. Season 1 playlist, under playlist. So at the top of YouTube, if you're not familiar with it, there's like a little navigation bar. Hit playlist, scroll down, find playlist season 1, which is Foundations to Deconstructing History, Patriarchy, and Myth. I think it's actually Patriarchy, History, and Myth. Whatever, and binge it, watch it several times, watch it many times, because the more you work with this material, the easier it will get to see the shit that's going on and see why we're getting stuck here, why we're getting stuck in a dating crisis, in a loneliness crisis for men, in a male loneliness crisis. And then let me know what you think. Also over on Substack, we go a little bit deeper. All right, so much love. Bye. I have tried so many iterations to really sum up why I am so frustrated and to make a better video end than just the randomness that this reaction video was, and I haven't been able to get at it. I had to keep going back to ChatGPT and being like, why am I so frustrated? I keep naming the same things over and over and over again. And you know what it is? It's that Matthew Hussey, Scott Galloway, and all of these other men keep doing what patriarchy is so good at doing, which is making this emotional labor loop for women so palatable and yet so invisible. Women have to keep naming what is happening here. And that's exhausting. That's making us responsible for naming the harm that patriarchy is doing to everyone. And you're not listening, you're not getting it. And that is exhausting. So let me read to you what ChatGPT said, because it's actually so poignant and beautiful, and I want to get this right. Here we go. It's the emotional labor loop that women get stuck in, having to soothe the male ego while naming the harm. It's like sitting in the witness chair of a courtroom, having to tell everyone what your SA abuser did to you. That's not only exhausting, but traumatizing. We're being asked to fix the relationship crisis while also being responsible for it. And we're asked to connect with men before men have done the work to dismantle and deconstruct the internalized ideology of patriarchy inside their own heads. And then we're watching men like Matthew Hussey and Scott Galloway with their platforms sidestep naming the system of patriarchy as the reason for the male loneliness epidemic to top it all off. So it's this big circuitous root cause that no one's naming, but everyone's dancing around and not getting to the heart of it, that keeps women exhausted and just so frustrated because they're not listening to our voices. So if you really want to fix the male loneliness problem, stop blaming women, stop looking to women for the answers, stop looking at women to soothe your lack of connection before you've done the work to identify the system as the problem, identified your internalized misogyny through the ideology that's internalized in your cultural stories of patriarchy, and doing the work to dismantle and deconstruct all of that. Once you've done those three things, then come back to us and say you might be ready to connect, and let us reevaluate at that point in time. Until you've done that work, stop looking to women to blame for your lack of connection. Stop expecting women to soothe your ache for connection, and stop looking at women to be responsible for doing the emotional labor that only you can do. And I will say it again, men, you're empowered. Use this video as your empowerment to do the work that I'm telling you to do in this video, and your life will be 1000% better than any of these other male coaches, any of these other red pill men are telling you what the problem is. I'm not yelling and I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming the system of patriarchy, and I'm giving you the inside psychology of women that want to connect with you once you've done this work. So go forward, my friend. Do the work that we're asking you to do, and the world will get better. So much love. Adios. Bye-bye.